Hello everybody. So of course we're going to start off with the radar detector going off like always, and let's get on to the highway. Anyways, so I have something that I actually want to talk about in this video. It's an actual topic, and I saw someone else talk about it in one of their videos, so I'm going to talk about it in mine. And the topic is how I became a car guy. Because when you know there's different factors that come to being a car guy and all that stuff. There's different things that influence you and all that stuff. So what influenced me, what made me get into cars so much? Because I've been into cars for a long time. So like most people, for me it was my dad. And my dad has always been a huge car guy. Ever since he was my age, he's always been a car guy. So started off with him like showing me like car and driver magazines, road and track magazines, and all that stuff. And we would, he would show me like the really cool stuff and all that stuff. It was I had no idea, but it was cool. So the very first car and driver magazine I remember, it had a Porsche in there. It was the new 911, and this was like in the early 90s or whatever. I'm not entirely sure what kind of a 911 was, but it was nice. So in the same magazine, they were talking about all these supercars. So, that was like the first, my first idea of, like cars, and, going fast and all that stuff. So, okay. So a little while after that, there was a book fair at school. If you remember the book fairs, you got a certain amount of money or whatever. Your parents give you money, you go out, buy books, all that good stuff. So I had the book fair at school, and I didn't buy books because I didn't like to read. So I bought posters because they had posters there also. And I bought 2 posters. And I think it was like $6 total. I bought 2 posters. One poster was of a Lamborghini Countach, a white Lamborghini Countach, and the second poster was of a white and blue Dodge Viper RT10. And I fell in love with that car. I didn't know anything about it, but I just thought it looked amazing. I thought it looked so badass and just crazy. There's no way that could be something that someone would drive. Couldn't wrap my head around it. And that was the first car that I honestly fell in love with. Right? I just loved that car. Now I would stare at that poster all day. Loved it. Time goes on. A couple years pass. I start learning more about cars and all that stuff, and so I think it was 2000. It was either 99 or 2000. I grabbed a magazine. Now I can't really remember what the magazine was. I'm not sure if it was a car and driver magazine or a road and track magazine. I'm not sure. And I read through the magazine because my dad would get them all the time. Read through the magazine, I'm looking through it, and I find this article on this car. It's a weird looking car. It's yellow, 4 doors, weird looking lights. So I'm reading the article, and this guy's talking about this car comes with a turbocharged 2-liter engine, pushing out 223 massive horsepower. And when it comes to the States, it'll cost somewhere around $25,000 or whatever, something like that. And I was captivated because this guy's talking about blowing V8 Mustangs out of the water, pulling up to a stoplight, having everyone look at you. And what was he talking about? He was talking about a bug-eyed WRX. And from that moment on, I knew that I needed to get a WRX in my life one day. And it was just like what he was saying in the article, how he was describing the car, like the feel of the car, the whole thing. I'm like, this is amazing. I need this car in my life. I need this car. So time goes on. Start getting some friends that are, you know, that are into cars and all that stuff. And you know, my dad's always been there. My dad's always been the one to, you know, geek out about cars with. You know, dream cars, what we would do to our own cars and stuff like that, like all that stuff. Like he took me to my first auto show. Like we go to the New York International Auto Show. We try and go every year. We missed a couple years because of work and all that stuff, so that's another thing. But we try to go to the auto shows, all that stuff. And it's just like he's always been so big into cars, and naturally that like moved over to me. A lot of things that he's into, he got me into, like cars, Star Trek. I do like Star Trek a lot. You know, like there's a lot of things. So, but my dad is the biggest driving factor when it comes to me in cars. And my love for cars, I've made it spread for my friends. Because, you know, when it came to learning about cars, a lot of them knew stuff about cars, but I was so like into it, I just kept on like learning new things about cars and all that stuff. And they, like, some of them ended up like not liking me for it because I would call them out on bullshit. A friend of mine once said that he had a turbo in his Infiniti G20. He swore up and down he had a turbo in there, and it, you know, I ended up, you know, proving to him that he didn't have it, and what he thought was his turbo was his alternator. You know, but yeah. So, and like, I helped my friends get into cars, because a lot of my friends were never into cars until like we actually became friends, and I passed that on to them because I would talk about cars all the time. We would be driving and be like, oh, that's a really nice car, blah 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 blah. I ended up getting like my really good friends into cars too, and now my best friend has a WRX also. He ended up getting an STI before I was able to get a WRX. So, whatever. But yeah, like I've spread that to them also. So, but that's my like brief history of, you know, how I became a car guy. I want to know if you guys are car guys, which I would hope you're car guys if you're watching this. I hope you're a car guy. If you are a car guy, who got you into being a car guy? You know, like, how did you get into it? Who got you into it? Was it your dad, your uncle, your brother, a friend of yours, or whatever? Or was it, you know, watching the Fast and Furious movies? Because I was into cars before the Fast and Furious movies came out. But when the Fast and Furious movies came out, it just expanded my horizons a lot. Because there was a lot that you know, like I knew some, but I didn't know all. I'm not gonna pretend like I know all about everything. So I knew some about cars, but then when those movies came out, it just brought on my horizons and you know, made me want to get into it even more. So those movies helped, you know, expand my mind, I guess you could say. But I know a lot of people that those movies came out, those were the movies that helped them get into cars, that made them want to get into cars. So, you know, so yeah, I want to know if you're a car guy. You know, let me know if you're a car guy, and if you are, what made you become a car guy? What got you into cars? What got you liking cars so much? So I'm curious. I want to know. You guys let me know. But yeah, other than that, that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed. I know I did. And I will see you on the next one. Hopefully it won't be another week. But yeah, see you later, guys. Peace.